since day one, I think spiritual warfare was very big in my heart. I remember when we first got into the plane, I dealt with a lot of anxiety and a lot of worries about, shoot, like, what am I going to do for a month? Like, I'm finally stuck here. There's no turning back. I can't leave now. And I was sitting on the plane. I was just filled with a lot of worries, a lot of troubles in my heart. And I think right off the bat, that was a very bad sign for me going into it. I think I had a lack of faith trusting the Lord. I didn't think that God would provide for me. I didn't think that God would be there by my side. And instead, I kind of relied on my own knowledge, my own worth. And being constantly surrounded by a lot of other people, you start to naturally just compare yourself to them. What I did was I would always compare myself to my teammates because I really thought they were very talented. I saw a lot of their talents, a lot of their greatest qualities, and I compared it to myself. I thought, shoot, like, my teammates can do all these great things, but what can I offer to them? What can I offer to this team? And I think Satan really beat into my head the idea that I couldn't really give anything of worth. I was of no value. And I think that was very difficult on me. So I think every day I would pray about fighting my own insecurities. And I think this ultimately led to such a lack of joy in my own heart. I realized, like, during ministry times, whether it was body worship, skits, or emceeing, I never really had happiness. I could never feel myself wanting to do the ministry, and I never really found myself finding a joy serving Christ. We ended up going to a mountain church called KCM. This area had a church that we were supposed to help encourage and just kind of go there to help out the community and evangelize. We took the hike in the morning, and the weather was just really bad. The place we stayed at had 2 walls and a roof only, so it was missing 2 sides completely. So I think being able to see all this just gave me a bad mentality coming into it. I think I already had a lack of joy from the start, and now I just didn't want to be there. I didn't really want to serve. But on that day when we went on that hike, the youth group that we went with were just filled with so much joy and so much happiness to be there with us. And they were constantly carrying our stuff for us, helping us along the way. And every time they were serving us, they always had a smile on their face. And I think that whole day was just very humbling on me because that night we held a performance at the community, and everyone was there. A lot of the townspeople were just gathered together to watch us do skits and perform. And I remember the youth group opened up for us where they sang some praise songs. And I remember while watching these praise songs and listening to them, I couldn't really focus because I kind of judged the praise. I thought the praise was not very good, and it wasn't to the standards of what I'm used to back at home. Because when they were doing praise, they didn't really know how to play the instruments, but they just did it. They just praised God. But for me, I kind of judged that. But I remember they sang Heart of Worship, and the lyrics were, "I'm sorry, Lord, for all the things that I've made it, when it's all about you." And I think that hit me really hard because that just made me realize, not just in praise, but my whole life, I always made things about myself. I always made it everything about this world. I focused so much on it. I focused so much on what other people think of me, what this world can offer me. And even during my missions trip, my lack of joy was because I made it about everything other than serving God. After that day, I would consistently pray about this topic where I would just beg him for joy. I would just beg him for a fire to want to read his word more and to truly gain an understanding of the gospel. And each day I prayed about that. Each day I would just ask God. And slowly I realized my trip was becoming a lot better for me, where I really did have joy doing ministry. I think God was a shepherd to me in the sense that he was always pulling me closer to him, even when I'm constantly just running away from him. I think in the beginning of the trip, I felt really far away from him, and I didn't do devos, I didn't pray. But throughout my trip, I think once I had that joy of knowing what Christ did for me and how he died on the cross, I truly found joy in reading the word and just getting to know him even more. I think that showed that God was always leading me back to him and pulling me closer to his side.